Hey y'all, welcome back to For the Fans, where today we are going to talk about the fourth episode of the challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies, where we got to see some crazy fights, several hookups, and a big elimination. Anyways, so we are excited to talk about it all and break it down with you. So Frank, how are you today? What do you think
I'm
about this episode?
fantastic. I like this episode. I really liked last week's episode. We didn't get to do the recap on it. I was blown away by that episode. First, I want to say that I can't believe that it was a record low on views.
Yeah.
I don't know how this episode was for them.
Yeah, I haven't seen the numbers yet, but like the viewership's way down. That's interesting because I'm enjoying this season. Like I think it's been pretty entertaining so far. I think a lot of people are kind of getting turned off by a lot of new people coming in, but I really like some of these new people, so I think it's been kind of interesting. And yeah, we missed last week. My cat was having some health problems, and it turns out that he's just an expensive bougie bitch and nothing's wrong with him. But I needed a little bit of time to process things, so we missed last week, but we're excited to be back this week. All right, so
Yeah,
let's
I
get
think that
started.
the views for the episode, my theory on that is I think Paramount Plus needs to start airing playing those episodes because I know personally myself, I had troubles watching the episode. I ordered it on Amazon Prime
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I don't have MTV. I want to get those episodes really fast. I don't want to pay for a subscription service just for that show alone. So I bought it
Mm-hmm.
on Prime. And last week's episode was not playing for a couple days afterwards. I don't know if it was me personally, but I think the hard part is a lot of people are just going and streaming it online because that's the easiest thing to do and they don't want to pay a bunch of money to watch a challenge. So they'll
Yeah,
just
like
watch it streaming.
get with the times, MTV, and maybe just go to a streaming service because that's kind of your demographic. But yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. As long as they keep churning out episodes, I don't give a damn if there's only two of us watching. So, all
So
right.
this
So
episode,
yeah,
it kind of started off a little slow for me. I
yeah.
wasn't pulled in right away. The first thing to note that pretty much jumps out to me is the dial, Devin and Kyle. I love that. I didn't know they were as tight as they actually are, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we started seeing that a little bit at the end of Double Agents, like where these two did seem to be kind of two peas in a pod, but I didn't realize that, this was a full blown bromance. And, we all know my opinions on Devin. I'm not necessarily the biggest Devin fan, but I really, really like Kyle, so I like halfway ship this.
I love it. I think it's a match made in heaven. But we all know Kyle. Kyle relationships in general, he's not super loyal.
Right. So we're gonna see that, and yeah. So just to recap a little bit, we are starting this episode after this elimination win for Emmy. No, not Emmy. Bettina. Berna. What's her name? What's Nelson's girlfriend's
Bertha.
name? Berna.
Bertha.
Bertha, yes, Bertha wins the elimination and she comes back into the house. So, that whole storyline just got pushed to the back this episode.
And
Very,
she
very
not
awkward.
only won that, she showed a lot of people what she's made of. She busted
Yeah,
her face open and was just
yeah.
that was a hard challenge.
Yeah,
Uh
that was really hard. I think that part of why it was so hard was I think it was made for two people, but the fact that we lost Tommy to the concussion and hey, this is just going to be a girls' elimination. I don't think they changed up the challenge. I think they kept it the same. And oh, hey, shit, you really needed a second person there to like stabilize it. Like
yeah.
to have a person holding it so that the damn pole
And
didn't
then
roll.
one handing
Yeah.
them up too.
Yeah. So
I
this
do
was super
think there
tough.
was a better strategy to they were starting from the bottom, and I don't know if it was a rule, But I would have taken 2 long poles and I would have just started going like up 2 at a time and placing the top poles first from the top down.
Yeah.
And then once I had them all up, then you just got to climb it real slowly, because building from the bottom, you're knocking stuff off as you're just trying to place the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those two went at it for a long time. Like, this looked so hard. So props to them. And once again, this is just 2 examples of the rookies bringing it. So I'm here for it.
Yep. And we saw kind of the vets kind of at the end of episode 3, that kind of being on some rocky ground. Tori got called out, and I'm excited for the future challenges where we might have a little rivalry there.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, Tasha definitely went out with a bang, and she left an impression. So, but at the start of episode 4, we are getting this continuation of this talk about eventually these vets are going to turn on each other. And we all know it's going to happen. We've seen these people for years. We know that none of them are honestly that loyal. And there's no way that they're going to keep this group together when so many of them have bad blood.
Yeah, Josh is trying. Josh is trying. Keep the train on tracks.
In my notes, I wrote down that Josh is like Christmas from last season of Big Brother. Like, the committee did not really like each other that much, and they wanted to go after each other. You know, like, people wanted to take out Danny. People wanted to take out Memphis. And Christmas was like, no, we're going to stick together. And I was like, Josh is the Christmas of Big Brother. And now he's bringing this to the challenge where he's like, no, guys, everything's fine. Fessy, you don't want to vote in Amber B. She would never say your name. And Josh is really working. He is doing a lot of work, especially to try to keep Big Brother together.
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to keep all the wheels on that.
Obviously not, because I think he, you know, he's going to lose it himself, obviously. What do we feel about Corey L and the fact that he keeps getting called in? Because he's kind of over it.
Yeah, you can tell he's getting real frustrated with being a rookie. But, I mean, I think looking back on it, he'll be okay with it all because, one, he's getting screen time, he's getting confessionals, he's getting to go into those challenges and prove himself. And we'll talk about it a little later. I don't want to jump all the way to the end, but I think things are looking good for Coriel in the future challenges.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, ultimately, you would rather get thrown in, get to do some competitions, and not be like a gobbo. You know, we don't know anything about him.
When you go on these shows, for me personally, if I go on, I don't want to be boring and win the money at the end. Yes, money is wonderful, but if I'm going on, I can make money doing anything.
Right.
If I go on these shows, I want to be iconic. I want to be remembered by everyone forever. I want other shows trying to get me. Like, I want to become a hot
especially
commodity.
when you are on a show like The Challenge, knowing that they have such a large pool to pull from that they already have established with The Real World and Road Rules and Are You the One and Big Brother and Survivor. And so they already have their hands in all of these places, and they're obviously showing
all over the world.
They're willing to, grab people from any place, anywhere. So you've got to, you have a very limited amount of time to make an impression. And so going into eliminations, while it sucks, it's not necessarily the worst thing for your challenge career as a whole. So we'll get more on to Coriel in a little while, but let's talk about some of these hookups and some of these budding relationships. First, let's talk about Big T and Logan. So
Big T and Logan, I'm not really here for it. I could care less.
Okay.
It doesn't excite me. I don't want Big T in relationships on the challenge.
I love Big T, and Logan is like a hell of a man. So, like, go Big T. And I love that she has no subtleness to her. Like, she's sitting down there on that little gazebo or whatever this thing is, and she is straight bucking him with her eyes. Like, she loves her some Logan, and Logan knows it. So,
Yeah, I just think she's
do we see this
so
going
good
anywhere?
socially, though. She's got such a great social game, and we've seen it time and time again. Relationships, just don't shit where you eat. Don't don't do it. That's my opinion. When you go to the challenge, that's business. The pleasure can happen afterwards, unless you want to be messy. Then go for it, big T. But I like single T.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I mean, I like this for Big T. I love her personality, and like she's kind of got like that low key craziness to her, and I feel like she's got a little Ashley Mitchell waiting to come out, and a woman scorned is always an interesting TV line. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Let's. It's skipping forward a little bit, but that's fine. Let's talk about Emmanuel and Michelle.
I love it. I love it. Um, he's got a few really good confessionals this episode, and they're all about her. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love it. I think he's adorable. He grows on me more and more every episode.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. Obviously, I feel like protective of Michelle since she's coming from Survivor, and I just want to see her do well. And so to see somebody that is in her corner, especially after, kind of this little, love on the beach with her and Wendell during Winters at War, like it's good to see her have somebody that has her back. And while I think it's an odd match, the heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah,
So,
and I think he's got that bad boy image, but I think he's a big softy, and that's like the perfect combination. You can win over any woman with that combo, I think.
maybe.
Except for the Texans, apparently.
Except for the Texans that are like, whoa, face tattoos. Okay, so then we have one more budding romance, and that is Jeremiah and Amber B. And so, like, what do we feel about this? Because I'm like, these are two beautiful people that are meant to be together.
Yeah, I think his days are numbered in
Yeah,
the challenge house. And unless he gives us more, I don't think we'll see him back.
right. Yeah,
But
it's not
Amber
the
B,
best.
you do you. Go get you some. That's what I think to Amber B.
Yeah, I'm loving Amber so far this season. Like, I think they're like, okay, she's probably going to be a little bit of a staple because I think they like having several from Big Brother, and the fact that she was a winner and now she's coming in and she's causing some fireworks. Like, this is all good for her. And so I'm loving what she's doing so far. Interested to see how she's going to keep it up.
Yeah, she's got a new energy this year too.
Yeah.
She's sure of herself, she's
Yeah.
confident, and I like that version of her.
Yeah, she's definitely grown so much confidence from her win last season, and it's very, very evident. So let's talk about this Big Brother group because they're a whole ass mess.
Yeah, there's four of them. I'm Fessy. I mean, Josh is growing on me. I hated Josh. Josh stole from my boy, and I didn't think I'd ever come around to even want to see him on my television, but he's growing on me a lot this season, and I don't know how I feel about it. Casey, she's boring again, and I don't know why. It seems like Casey Fessy is like her number one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just what I feel in the Big Brother Alliance, and it's like she should be smarter than that. Like, why
Yeah, like,
attach yourself
you
to him?
saw what Fessy did last season. Like, why does he have your undying loyalty? I don't get it. It's so odd to me. Um, especially whenever I feel like, say what you want to say about Josh. Josh is loyal as hell. And
Yeah.
so, like, I can understand wanting to hitch your wagon to Josh in terms of loyalty. I don't get it with Fessy. And so, Fessy is just he is pressed by Amber B. And he is like, I can't trust her. She's going to come for me. And Josh was like, no, she's not. She's not going to come for you. And we get all these confessionals from Amber where she's like, Fessy says that he's a different person this season and that he wants to prove that he's loyal. So I'm going to give him that chance. So if you were in Amber B's situation, would you be so forgiving of Fessy?
This season, yeah.
Hell no.
From last season?
From any, I mean, you've watched him on Big Brother. You've watched him on now 2 seasons of the challenge. There's no doubt Fessy is interested only in number 1. And so if he's burned you...
Everyone deep down inside on these games is only looking out for number 1. But if you're Amber B, if I go into a game, I played a live game. We all know there was one individual there that ruined my game. If I saw him in another game, I'm going to give him a hug. We're going to be best buddies. Like, in time, we'll move on. Like, I'm not going to hold a grudge. I just don't think it's good for your game.
And if I were you, I would hold a grudge against him.
No.
Not, like, you can be friends with him in real life, whatever, but I would not trust him in a game. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And so, Amber, I hope you've learned your lesson because Fessy is not one to be trusted. But we'll get more into that, obviously, as time goes on. Let's talk about Huey. And Huey on the workout ball. Because this is probably my favorite moment from the whole episode.
Huey, I don't know about this guy. I don't know if he's really secretly Superman because episode 3 that we didn't recap, he was so scared that he became a superhero. And then we see him balancing on balls. We see him jump roping. I just started working out again. I was jump roping this week. And I wasn't continuously jump roping. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. Oh, no, gotta go again. And I almost died. Like, I was doing 1 minute, taking a minute break, and I only did 5 minutes total, and I almost died. And I couldn't walk the next day. So, Huey, I think he's a sleeper.
Yeah. Huey is very, very interesting to me. And so, we'll see what happens with him. Because he's a lot. He's a lot. He's a lot of personality. And I'm like kind of impressed with him jump roping because he looks extremely athletic. And I hadn't really seen it up to that point of him being that athletic. And so it's a little bit surprising.
No, you just see the fake ass that he's got. Yeah. That's all you see. And you see he's teamed up with Ashley, which is it's fun to watch that dysfunction.
Yeah.
So we get to this first challenge, and once again, he's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And then beast mode. He just comes alive when fear turns him into a superhero. So I'm sold on Huey 100%. And I think we'll see him in future seasons. I hope he takes it all the way to I hope he's a rookie that makes it to the final again. That'd be so much fun to see.
Yeah.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, no, probably not, but he's interesting. So we've covered a little bit of the Big Brother stuff. There's, lots of talk even before the challenge about it. Casey and Amber try to kind of squash it a little bit. And, Casey's like, well, I'm not trying to necessarily have a Big Brother alliance. But then she's like, yes, I am trying to have Big Brother. I just don't want Amber in it. I'm like, this makes no sense to me from those two. From Casey and Fessy, makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't be talking about a Big Brother alliance. That should be inside the onion of the vets. The vets should be the only thing people are talking about until that's about ready to end. Yeah. They shouldn't even be talking about their differences.
Yeah. So, dysfunction.
Kitty wanted to join.
Aww. All right. So, dysfunction. But anyways, let's get to this challenge. Undercover comms. What do you feel about this one?
I think it's fun. Yeah. I love challenges where you have to kind of show your cards and eliminate another player. I wish it would have been done a little differently so they couldn't rig it, but
Yeah, but I
still
mean,
fair.
that's just the nature of the challenge, that every time we see an elimination challenge, they decide beforehand kind of who they're going to go after. This one is no different. Heat 1, they decide we're going to take out Michelle and Coriel first. They're the only rookie duo, or the R&R, as your boy Devin likes to call them. So they're the first ones out. No big surprise. I love when Huey's freaking out and Ashley's like, get your ass up there. Like, Ashley has zero chill to her and she has no time for Huey's bullshit.
No, she at one point she like freaked out and like sat down on the ground and started pouting.
Yeah.
I know you're an Ashley fan. I'm still not an Ashley fan by any means, but I like them together. She's super entertaining.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was freaking out. I can't do it. I think this is. Has he cried before every challenge so far?
I think just before the ones with height. So I think he's like 2 for 4. I think he was not up in the helicopter, so therefore he didn't have to cry in the helicopter one. So, and then the very first one, obviously, that's when he got partnered with Ashley to begin with. So 2 for 4, he only has cried in 50%. So, like, cut him some slack.
Yeah, and then we were talking about Corey and how they went out first. Do you think they would have done a little better if they had maybe switched their roles and Michelle been up? Because Coriel was saying like he was struggling.
Yeah,
hanging upside down or on his back.
With the fact that it was them against everyone else, I don't think it would have mattered, because unless nobody else could get a code, then they were going to get eliminated first no matter who was up there. So probably not. So we see Josh and Amber win Heat 1. A little bit surprising here, but okay. All right. Then we get to Heat 2, and this one doesn't have any rookie duos. So they decide, hey, we just want someone from our Heat to win overall. So if you see someone's doing good, we're not going to go for them. We're going to go for the teams that are struggling, and we just want to have the fastest time. So, okay, this is all great, except Kyle decides, I would rather just win myself. Which is why I love Kyle.
Yeah. You could tell that really confused a lot of people. I think it put a big question mark on Kyle. I think it was probably the dumbest thing he could have done.
So dumb. And so,
why draw attention to yourself?
Yeah, like, stick to the plan, in the words of Keith Nail, and just whatever. And I mean, I do feel like a little bit it was like subconscious. I don't feel like he was intentionally like, okay, I really want to win, and Devin and Emmy are winning, so I'm going to go after them. I think he panicked a little bit, and for whatever reason, he chose Devin and Emmy, and then he tried to take a little bit of ownership of it, of like, oh, I just wanted to win, and I don't necessarily think that was it. Like, I don't
think that's the right answer.
Yeah, I think he kind of
the only right answer he could have given was, I picked you because I knew you wouldn't be pissed. I didn't want to piss off anyone else. You're my best friend. I chose to eliminate you to get no bad blood with anyone else. It didn't matter who won.
That's the absolute only answer that is acceptable. I have no idea why he doesn't claim that, but he is like, hey, I wanted to win, so I eliminated you. And everybody is confused AF. Like, what are you doing? Why did you eliminate Devin? And Emmy is mad as hell. Like, I thought she was going to straight up fight Kyle.
Yeah. And everyone was not happy with that, I don't think. Like, it gave Josh and Nelly, man, that gave them another reason to, like, kind of want to throw Kyle into the boat with Fessy. And why, like I said, why cause drama? If you know that there's kind of friction going on in the Big Brother world and you're Kyle, the best thing to do is just let Big Brother explode and implode on themselves. Like,
exactly.
Don't take shots.
But that's not what Kyle decides to do. During the challenge, though, we get a couple of interesting things happening. One, we get Esther talking, and Esther is another rookie that I kind of love. And Esther is talking about not only like is she social and kind of athletic, but she's super smart too.
Yeah.
So I think she's a total package.
Yeah. Another moment that I don't want to skip over, actually, her elimination. You break my heart, I break your game.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, Ashley decides to take out Nelson. Little payback for him leaving her in the dust for Bertha. And I think one of my favorite confessionals, we'll go over our favorites at the end, but I love where Amanda is like, I can't understand what Kyle is saying. He's like mumbling in this walkie-talkie. He's got those big ass teeth in his mouth. And Amanda is like, she is so savage and she will drag your ass. She does not care who you are.
And she's loud, so she didn't even need the walkie-talkie, did she? She just started yelling down.
Yeah, she didn't need the walkie-talkie. She just used her mouth as a megaphone and yelled out the answers, and that's fine. So good for her. We see Fessy and Esther end up winning this heat. So after Kyle does that, he doesn't even end up winning. And it's like, come on, if you are going to screw the plan up, you have to win. Like, you have to execute so that you can do whatever your plan was to make you want to win to begin with. So, not good, Kyle. All around bad look for you.
A great look, though, I think, was we saw a fun confessional with Gabo and Nani, where Nani was like, I think we might be dropped pretty early in this. And he's like, you think that? And then, like, gives her a little pat on the head.
Yeah, he's an interesting little character. I was surprised by Nani saying that, like, I'm so proud of him. He does good every time. He's impressing me. And I was like, ooh, we're just not seeing enough of him because I'm not impressed. So, yeah. Basically, though, we get it coming down to Josh and Amber, Esther and Fessy, which this is exciting because of the drama that's going to happen later. But for the second time in a row, Esther and Fessy have won again. Yay for Esther, boo for Fessy. But this is where we're at. So Fessy, once again, all that stuff's going to just make his head bigger and bigger and bigger. It's eventually going to blow up because it's got to be so heavy. Oh, Lord. I just can't. I'm over it.
Yeah, the challenge, like I said, it really was. I knew when it got down to those two, we knew Fessy's heat was going to be a lot faster. They maybe edited it to make us think who's going to win, but since they had no roadblocks, they were one of the fast teams, and they didn't have people trying to eliminate them. We knew that they were going to win. I was over it.
Whatever. He wins again. We get them going to the club. This is where they seem to do a lot of the strategy talk, or at least where they like to show us their strategy talk, which is so interesting to me. But we see Coriel approach Fessy in the club and say, hey, I know that me and Michelle are probably going to go in, like the writing's on the wall, but why don't you do me a solid and you give us the people that we want? And we kind of want Huey and Bettina. Yeah. And I like this approach for Coriel, where he is being very proactive and going up and asking for who he wants, as opposed to just sitting back and taking whatever they decide to give you. Like, that they're going to call in rookies most likely. So, yeah, throw out a name.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall. They knew they were going to go in, so they just leaned into it. And I think that was the best move that they possibly could have made for their game.
Yeah, for sure. So
We
Fessy is
also
like,
got a little bit of NSYNC at the club too. Did you notice that?
Yes, I noticed that. Listen, Frank, I'm a little bit older than you, and NSYNC came into the world whenever I was in seventh grade, and I went to their concert, the No Strings Attached concert, when I was in eighth grade, and my whole room was covered in NSYNC posters. So yes, I immediately latched onto the NSYNC at the beginning of them walking into the club because NSYNC is life. So
I had Britney posters, but it really wasn't for her music.
Britney's music grew on me because I couldn't like Britney because I loved Justin. So
She was
we
in the
were,
way.
she was in the way. So, 12-year-old me was coming for old JT. So I didn't like Britney Spears back in the day, but now I love her. Okay. So, anyways, we get this conversation with Devin and Josh, which I absolutely love because they have come to this understanding that they have to be at the end with each other because they're never going to beat CT. They're never going to beat Fessy. They're not going to beat Corey. They're not going to beat Nelson. They're not going to beat Kyle. They're not going to beat literally anybody else's name that you can say. The only chance of them ever winning a challenge is to go against each other.
I think they're accurate.
Great facts. Like, they can be big personalities. They will keep getting the call back again and again. Devin, he got third place his very first season. I find it very hard to believe he's ever going to do better than that.
Yeah, you see like people at Nellie's boot camp, and then you got Devin who's just hanging out. He's got no desire to. I mean, he's not a scrawny little guy. If he put in
Right.
work, he could become just like any of these other guys that look like professional athletes.
It's not his personality. He's really not interested in it. He's going to do the bare minimum to, stay fit enough to get called back, but he's not ever going to be one of those big guys competing for it. And, I feel, oh God, like I don't like to throw women under the bus, but I feel like you will see a woman like Nani, which I love Nani. Okay. You'll see a woman like Nani win before you're going to see a man like Devin win. Like, a woman can be mediocre with a good male partner, but a man cannot be mediocre with a good female partner.
So what do you think if we had Devin, Josh, and Huey in the final? Who's bringing home first?
Give me Huey! I mean, I really don't know. Like, I feel like Huey is a really big question mark. I feel like if it's Devin and Josh, fighting it out for first and second place, probably going to give the advantage to Devin. Devin is obviously smarter than Josh, so probably going to give the advantage to Devin.
I would agree.
And I mean, I don't know enough about Huey yet to really say. I kind of hope that Huey would be the one that would bring it home, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this scenario ever happens. Probably not. Let's see.
Right around that club time, we also did have, I think I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but we had Josh and Nelson talking about how Kyle is now, Nellie wants to take the head off the snake, and Kyle's on his list now. I think the head on the snake, though, was Fessy, but he did say that he wanted Kyle was on his list.
Yeah, you've put yourself on the vet's radar by proving that you're not trustworthy, and they all know it. I mean, they've been thinking this for years anyways, and then the fact that he basically throws his best friend under the bus, they're like, yeah, no, this was the final straw, Kyle. You have screwed yourself so badly.
And I love how Devin handled it. He wasn't aggressive and angry. He was kind of just hurt. Like, when your parents aren't mad at you, they're just disappointed in you.
Yeah.
And then I think him walking around the house pouting like that did get some sympathy for him from the other players.
Yeah, no, I think this definitely played better for Devin than for Kyle because everybody's like, oh, God, Devin, that was your best friend, and he just threw you under the bus. Oh, that sucks. But, I mean, they're right, especially Devin on this, that they have to squash it. You don't want to be seen as like, okay, there's been some drama with Devin. He's easy to throw in. You just kind of want to keep yourself a little bit off the radar. As you know, the vets are turning on each other. None of them are good at being under the radar. That's why they're here. But you don't want to also be an easy target, especially when you know that you're not that great of a competitor. So, like, you don't want to give them any extra reason to look your way.
But
So,
they made up, so
squashing it's for the best.
yeah. And I think that's what Devin knows is best, and I think that's why they squashed it.
Mm-hmm.
Dial is still intact for now. We got
Is
Amber
it?
B right after Corey was making that deal too. We have Amber B saying how she feels good about Big Brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Amber B is like, like Fessy is going to stick to his word. He is going to be loyal this time. And I'm glad that I am hooked back up with Big Brother. Yay, Big Brother. We're going to see this through to the end. I'm glad I got my people to ride with. Okay. Okay. So we do get Esther and Fessy talking, and Fessy is like, hey, we should throw down 2 rookies. And Esther's like, that might be best for your game because you've got all of these people that are going to protect you, but like y'all keep throwing in people that won't say my name. So, like, I don't think this is best for me. So, do you think? Obviously, we know that Fessy had this idea of throwing Amber B down in his head already. But do you think Esther used her big brains, because I think she's super smart? Do you think she was able to latch onto this and push Fessy that last little bit to say Amber B's name? Like, she was doing her best to turn him away from a rookie. So do you think she was like, yeah, like, Amber, you can't trust her?
I don't. I think if she was doing that stuff, I think production would have definitely tried to show it. Fessy being
Yeah.
controlled or manipulated. If I was production, I would have wanted to
Yeah.
show that.
I mean, I hope that it was, and I felt like that they were kind of showing us that conversation where she was like, you're protected all around, I'm not, and then the fact that they end up not going for rookie, that maybe it was that conversation, and maybe Esther had a little bit of a part in that, of just being that final push. Like, Fessy was obviously wanting to do that anyways. He wanted to do that when he saw Amber get out of the damn car, but I think maybe that was, she gave that final little push that was like, yeah, you should definitely do this. So, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
thought it was a weird choice. I thought with Michelle and Coriel, like they were kind of going in deliberation. They were going at rookies pretty much, the people
Yeah.
that were untested. So I don't know. I feel like Esther and Fessy and they kind of half-assed it. They kind of went with what Coriel wanted, but didn't really follow through all the way, and then put last year's winner up. Maybe if they
Yeah.
want to justify it by saying, "Well, you weren't here in the beginning, this is why,"
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was
I
a bad move.
I love Corey L and Michelle's energy. They're over this shit. They're over, getting their name said every single week. They did not want to be back together as partners because they knew this was going to happen. And so they bring it in this deliberation, and they're saying names, and they're calling out the people that haven't had to go in and do anything yet. Like, there's been quite a few rookies that have won eliminations and come back, and they're like, hey, give us 2 people that haven't had to prove it yet. And it slightly works.
Yeah,
um,
I just want to say Michelle. I thought she was good on Survivor. I think she's great on the challenge.
yeah, me too.
I think she's as one of the rookies. Like we have a few that are just really blending in well. Like
Yeah.
Ed, we didn't see a lot this episode, but Michelle and Ed and Emmy, they're just working so well. Coriel too,
Yeah.
Huey, and like
Yeah.
these rookies, I think this is one of the strongest rookie casts that we've seen
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
long
I
time.
agree. And during the deliberation, Coriel makes a point, and I was like, yes, this is such a great point. And he says, eventually, you're going to need someone strong. Like, y'all keep throwing in these people, like, wanting them to get eliminated, and eventually you're going to have a partner, and you're going to need somebody strong. You don't want to be there with somebody that's weak and somebody that sucks. So, like, I'm strong. You're going to want me around later. And I love that point because, like, you don't want to get to the end with, I'm sorry, but like, you don't want to get to the end with Devin. Like, would you rather get to the end with Devin and Josh or Coriel? Like, I'd rather be there with Coriel. Like, he manhandled that first elimination, and he's done well in everything so far. Like, I would rather have him running a final with me than several of the vets. So he's got a good argument.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot. I mean, the vets, we don't have, even the strong vets like Corey, he's not really that great when it comes to finals. Kyle, not that great when it comes to finals. Besides CT, are there any other champions?
That's what I was just about to say. Are there any male champions besides CT? Are there any female champions besides Ashley?
Amber B.
Amber B. Yeah. Sorry, Amber.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. That's craziness.
Let us know in the comments if we're wrong, but
yeah, I think that's it. Just trying to run through everyone's names quickly through my mind, and Casey. No.
Kate.
No. Mm-mm. She didn't win.
No, she didn't.
She almost won. Fessy almost won. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we just have CT, Amber, and
yeah. So these a bunch of untested challengers this year. So you're right. I would rather be with one of the rookies like Coriel than anyone but CT, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So Huey can tell that Coriel is kind of like meaning him, and he's like, hey, I thought that we would be working together because of our sexuality, and like why, he feels like they're underrepresented, and why are we going after each other?
Yeah. And we also found out that last week Huey voted for him and Ashley. Like, he don't want to say any names. So that when he was on the spot in deliberation, he didn't want to come at really anybody. He just said,
yeah, he's like, I haven't decided yet. Like, me and my partner, we've talked, but last week, like, I voted us.
And I think that was a perfect answer. I think he navigated that really well.
Somewhat, because obviously he is going to super piss off his partner, who is the most explosive person in the entire challenge universe. And she is mad as hell because she knows, like, throwing rogue votes can screw you. And Ashley does have a little bit of bad luck in some situations. And so, like, if somebody is going to get screwed by a rogue vote, it's probably going to be Ashley.
You say bad luck. I personally say bad karma.
Maybe.
Everything she has coming at her or that has come at her, she's earned every single bit of it. Did you watch her Real World season?
Whatever. It's okay. Yeah, no. She was terrible in the Real World, but whatever. No big deal. She's bounced back from it. We're not going to talk.
I don't know if the karma scales are quite balanced yet. They look like they're balancing out this season, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's a strategy. It's a strategy to vote for yourself. Like, an interesting one. Literally throw your vote on anybody else. Never vote for yourself. That's crazy. So, okay. Okay. We get Fessy going ahead and talking about how he wants to vote Amber B. Josh was like, don't do this. Don't be that person. But it's time to go to the Elimination Arena, and yes, they're going to say Huey's name. No problems there. No surprise. But then it's going to come time to say the female name, and this is where the episode really, really takes off. And Fessy decides he's going to be the first one to pull the punch, and he is going to say Amber B. And
If Josh
Josh,
had his pots and pans, man, he would have been banging them.
he would have smashed Fessy's head in between them pots and pans. He was so mad. And it is interesting to see him. That is our thumbnail picture. TJ Lavin is iconic. So badass. But it's interesting to see Josh going off the handle for Amber. Do you think this is a good move on Josh's part? Proves his loyalty, but
I think it's a great move because if Amber goes down there and wins, she's going to come back to him. And I think he's most upset is that his number one is taking away somebody that he can trust, and that's a strong teammate to have. Like,
yeah,
and by him, if he doesn't do, I mean, he could have been a little more tame about it, but I think his explosiveness and taking it out on Fessy, distancing himself from Fessy a little bit in all the people in the house's eyes, like Devin and Nelson, all of them, and then Amber B is going to want to come back and be with him is where I think his mind was, is like,
and this
just
is
trying
also
to make
why
her happy.
Ring, ring, ring. Josh, we're filming another season of the challenge. Can you come out? This is why. Because time and time again, he gives good TV. And this explosion and meltdown, y'all know we talk about it, but we do our fantasy draft. And one of the things you score points on are bleeps. And Josh Martinez is on my fantasy team. And I was over here like, just tapping in all of his points because he dropped like 25 F-bombs in this conversation and just completely loses it on Fessy. And I mean, honestly, like, Josh is going off so badly that Fessy can't even get a word in.
Yeah. And it's not over.
Oh, no.
It's not over. I think TJ finally had to be like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's done. Yeah. No, you're not allowed to talk anymore. I've already tweeted about this. I've already checked my email, deleted some stuff. Time's up.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you eventually do have to move on, but I was like, no, like, don't. This is what we're here for. This is the good, trashy MTV television that we want to see. Please don't stop this, TJ. But he does. Okay, whatever. Amber B gets sent in. Fessy is still messy, y'all. And that is the quote of the season. And it's true.
Messy so what were you thinking when you saw the people that were down there? Where was your money at?
I felt like, okay, I even wrote it in. I put, there's a huge advantage to the group that's been working together. This is Corey and Michelle's second elimination together. They've been competing in the daily challenges together for a couple weeks. So, like, I feel like they have an advantage going into this as opposed to the two people that just get randomly pulled down. I feel like anytime two people don't have the communication, like, I mean, we've not seen any type of relationship between Huey and Amber. Obviously, there was nothing pre-existing since Huey's new and Amber's only been on one season. So I felt like definitely the advantage was to Corey and Michelle. And they both seemed so cool and calm under pressure. Huey is such a freaking spaz. Like, I thought
and I think Michelle's done something similar to this challenge in Survivor, I believe, where like you have to take with the rope and go through the whole thing. Very similar. Yeah,
so I thought for sure that this is going to be theirs to win. So an interesting elimination. They're handcuffed. They have to navigate their little stick through the maze, get their key, come back, unlock themselves, and whoever gets there first wins. Never before have I seen somebody talking shit and straight up arguing and cussing someone out in the middle of an elimination challenge. Like, this is the first.
Yeah. Yeah, they just stopped what they were doing. They're like, we're just going to shout at each other for a while.
Yes, they are straight up arguing in the middle of the elimination. And finally, Michelle is like, shut up. What are you doing? Like, we are behind. You've got to shut up. And Amber shuts it down too. Like, stop, shut up. We are trying to win an elimination here. And, I think all
It
four
was
of them want it very, very badly.
yeah, and
Which,
at that point when the blow up happened, I was just like sitting back, like, is this really happening? Because they're just pulling away, pulling away, pulling away, and I'm like, wow.
yeah, like they were fueled by straight anger. And, Huey's pissed because Corey and Michelle threw him under the bus. Amber's pissed because Fessy has backstabbed her. And they put all of their anger and frustration into this challenge. And it looks like it's going perfectly well. And then guess what? Huey is in the middle of talking shit. He doesn't even realize he drops the key. I was like, I am going to die if they lose
It could have
because
been a
this
lot
man
worse for
dropped
them.
his key. Yeah, luckily Amber realizes it before they get too far, and Huey busts out the splits looking like he should be in the Olympics, pulls the key back to him, and they're able to continue. And then we get Amber Bede. Like, if you have any
Yeah.
doubt about this girl and what she did last season, her throwing herself, she is handcuffed and she threw herself over that bar
Yeah, I did a whole
and
little flip
does a whole somersault, gets them
while
to
getting elbowed in the back of the head by Huey. It looked like.
yes, like I was so impressed with her, and she just has a lot of heart. And yeah, they get to the end, they win. Very sad to see. Well, before that, we do see Corey L completely explode on Huey, puts his hands on him, and so I was a little bit surprised that I mean, I guess he's leaving, so I don't know. Like, that is the only thing I worry about for Corey's chances of coming back again is the fact that he put his hands on Huey, because
I think he's good.
I guess we have seen Kayla come back from her little spat with Melissa, when she basically shoved the shit out of her like that. So we'll
I
see.
think TJ's words said a lot when he
Yeah,
was talking to Coriel. I
yeah.
think if he wasn't coming back, he would have been like,
See you
"Sucks you had to
never.
do that. We don't approve of that on the challenge. Sucks you had to do that. We really liked you." But he was
Yeah,
kind of like, we're still cool.
yeah,
I still
yeah.
like you.
We
Just don't do that
hopefully
shit
we
ever again."
yeah, hopefully we see you again. Don't do that. Like, men, y'all embarrassed yourselves. Women, way to be classy. But Coriel, Michelle, I think they did, the most with their time, and wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them get called back.
Yeah.
So,
I
um,
think Michelle is. I think they're both 100% going to be back.
yeah, I would really think so too.
We might
So
even get Corey L and Huey on a rival season.
yeah, I don't know, because they kind of squashed that at the end. They have an apology, and I think that says a lot about both of them, because I'm the type of person, like, if I apologize to you, then I want it to be sincere, and I want to accept an apology in sincerity too. And I'm not the type of person that can do it in the heat of the moment. So, like, I am definitely the type that is like, okay, I'm gonna, like, give it a day. I'm gonna calm down because I want to sincerely mean it when I apologize to you.
Yeah, and I
And
think Coriel is a very good, genuine person. I think it was all 100% emotions and adrenaline because
mhm,
it would seem like instantly that he's like, "What
yeah,
have I done? Like, I just
yeah,
judged this person based on how they look and their life choices. I judge them, and that's what people do to me all the
yeah.
time." So
Yeah,
it was
he's
instant for me.
having some regrets. He's having regrets about, choosing Huey. He's having regrets about how he acted in the challenge. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with him, but it was entertaining as hell. Like, I did not want this episode to end because it was so freaking wild. But we have to get some new teams. And Huey decides, well, first of all, they look at each other and they're like, oh no, not us. We're not going to stick together. And Huey looks up there and Ashley is like, I love you. I got your back. Do not come back to me. I do not want
Yeah, yeah.
you. And that is
No.
so funny to me. Her just straight up being like, no, no, don't say my name. So Huey decides to choose Nani. And I feel like Nani is a little bit more of the calm version of Ashley. Like, Huey, you might be gay, but you got a type of woman because you like the crazy ones.
Yeah. And then we got our number 1 draft pick back.
And the number 1 draft pick. Yeah, Amber decides to choose Devin because this is once again going to create another rookie duo for them to go after. But with all of the drama that has happened, do we really think Emmy and Gabo are going to for sure get thrown down? Yeah, I think that they'll be the houseboat, but I would be shocked if the vets don't vote themselves in there, by whoever is in
This
power.
is going to be the most important daily challenge of the season so far.
Yeah. Yeah, because if somebody that's a little bit chaotic is in power next week, they are going to pull punches. If somebody a little more grounded wins, then maybe they can keep it together for another week. But I would have paid money for them to just gone ahead and shown us what happened when they got back into the house, because that's what we're all waiting for. We want to see this aftermath between Fessy and Josh and what's going to happen.
Yes, and the scenes from the next episode, we see Casey is done with somebody. Who do you think she's done with? That's what I want to know. Is she done with Fessy or Josh?
Oh, God. Like, you would think that it would be Fessy, but I kind of feel like it's going to be Josh.
Really? I don't know. She's going to have to pick a side.
She's got to pick a side. This is coming to an end.
And I think we'll see how smart she really is. Because I think she wants to be number 1 with Fessy, because I think deep down she knows that Fessy thinks she's the greatest female ever and will partner with her. But if she's smart, strategically and socially, she will burn that bridge publicly with Fessy.
Because Josh definitely has a better social game than Fessy. More people like Josh, which is crazy. But
how much fun would it be if Emmy and Gabo won the daily challenge?
I'm here for it. I don't know who's going to get thrown in against them, but I am not ready for Emmy to be done this season. Gabo, don't care about you, but we'll see what happens. Maybe they win. Maybe they win the daily challenge and they get to be in control.
That's what I'm hoping, because then it'll be all that crazy madness going on.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for episode 5. Like I said, I'm enjoying this season, so I just hope that they keep bringing it.
Yep. I also want to highlight before this episode's over, because we missed episode 3, Tommy. It was so sad seeing him go that way, all naked and vulnerable, but very entertaining.
So bad for him. And he's like, "Can I have some pants?" Get the man some pants. I mean, not only does he have a concussion, but he also has no pants on.
Yeah. But on a bright note, I think he became the principal of his school, so I don't think we'll see him back at the challenge.
I think this is the end of Tommy's MTV career. Possibly we could see him, I think, on Survivor again someday down the road if they were to give him a call. But yeah, I think this is probably going to be a one and done for Tommy. But he seemed really, really well liked, so good for him.
Yeah, I actually was entertained by him. You didn't see a lot of entertainment on his season
I thought
of Survivor,
that he was way more entertaining too. Like, I think MTV has done a better job highlighting Michelle and Tommy than Survivor did, which is crazy because that's 2 of their winners. But whatever, okay. So do we want to get into some awards?
Awards time, yeah. So, Best Confessional. What do you got for Best Confessional of this episode?
Best Confessional, I am going to give it to Amanda and saying that she can't understand Kyle because he's got those big ass teeth in his mouth.
So, my favorite confessional is probably one of the shortest confessionals I've ever seen, and it was when Huey and Amber B are pulling away in that, and you just see Fessy. Fuck. That was my favorite confessional.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was great. I don't know if he was specifically talking about that or if they just grabbed that from another confessional, but it was great. Good job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
I like
that.
that one too.
Comp Beast.
Comp Beast. Oh man. You go first.
I would have to say Huey. Like, because
Yeah.
he was going to get it last week for becoming a superhero in the water. And
Yeah.
then I think I'm going to give it to him this week because he did kill it in
Yeah.
that he did the splits. He might have had a hiccup there for a moment,
Yeah.
but
I'm gonna give it to Amber because she's killing it socially. She's killing it like in her confessionals and her little flip, like just giving it her all. I'll give it to Amber.
so Playmaker.
Playmaker. Okay, like I'm sorry, but I think it's Josh. He blows up on Fessy. He is definitely going to create some friction there. He throws him under the bus. It's going to put him well into the likings of people that aren't as big of Fessy fans, which are quite a few. And so, yeah, I'm going to give it to Josh. What about you?
Yep. Playmakers make things happen, and Josh made a lot happen this episode. So yeah, hands down, it's got to be Josh. Biggest beef. Yes. I think.
Well, you basically have two to choose from: Huey and Corey, Josh and Fessy. Huey and Corey squash theirs. Josh and Fessy is going to carry over into the next episode. Josh and Fessy.
Yep, and because you get with Josh and Fessy, you also get the Amber Bee in there, so
It's going to be so great.
I'm excited for that one.
So great. I cannot wait till next week.
And then Rookie of the Week.
Esther. She keeps killing it.
I'm going to go with Huey. He just dominated the episode.
Yeah, he had a lot of big moments. I'm so impressed with Esther, though. I like everything that she gives us in her confessionals. I like what she's doing in the daily challenges. Yeah, I think
I'm looking forward to seeing her in the future when she's got more conflict with somebody, because I think she's not going to back down from somebody.
No,
she's going to be. I would like to see her and Ashley go at it personally.
Yeah, that would be fun. Anybody going at it with Ashley is always entertaining. So, anyways, I think it was a great episode. I'm looking forward to next week. Frank, you got anything else to add?
Nope. Just join us for the next game night that we got coming up. And then soon we should have Trisha and Michael back with us.
Yeah. Michael had some personal things going on. Trisha is, still managing to get her life together. She's so busy right now. And so hopefully she's able to join us. Soon we're going to be adding in our coverage for Survivor, as we are just less than 3 weeks away from the premiere of Survivor. Cannot wait. So looking forward to that. We will be having our draft. We will post information for our draft below. Make sure that you give us a thumbs up, drop a comment, give us your thoughts on our breakdown of this episode, and also your thoughts on the season and how it's going so far. And make sure that you subscribe so you get notifications every time we go live and drop new content. And give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter. It's at RealiTEA, RealiTEA _TK. And we will see you guys next time.